Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, let's cut right to it. Have you ever felt like you're just, I don't know, shouting into the void at work?
Oh, absolutely.
You've got this killer idea, right? Something you think could really move the needle, but it just fizzles out. Nothing happens.
And then maybe a few months later, some really expensive consultants show up.
Exactly. They roll in, present something that looks suspiciously like your brilliant idea, maybe tweaked a bit.
And suddenly everyone's listening.
Yeah.
All ears.
It's maddening, isn't it? Super
Yes.
frustrating.
It really is. It's more than just frustrating, actually. It can be so demotivating. It really stifles the kind of innovation companies say they want.
Right. When the people who are actually closest to the work, the ones with, the real insights.
Yeah, when they feel like their ideas just get ignored constantly, well, something's definitely broken there.
Totally agree. So our mission today in this deep dive is to look at a potential, well, maybe a game changer for this situation. We're exploring how you can use AI tools that are actually pretty easy to get your hands on, to polish up those overlooked ideas, and importantly, present them in a way that makes people, the decision makers, sit up and take notice.
Like giving yourself a strategic edge.
Exactly. Think of it like arming yourself.
And we're basing this on some really interesting stuff from Dave Thackeray, right? An AI advisor.
Yeah, a first-hand account. He's clearly really passionate about this problem. He lays out a pretty concrete strategy using AI.
A strategy to make sure those innovative ideas actually get heard and hopefully, implemented within the business.
Yeah, and what I find really compelling is how practical it sounds. We're going to unpack how you could use AI to basically draft a pitch in the style of someone your boss already looks up to, someone influential.
That's clever.
And we'll look at how AI can be like a thought partner to really refine your proposals.
And even help with the presentation itself, like slides and things.
Exactly, AI presentation tools. It's all about maybe, just maybe, bypassing those usual roadblocks and getting straight to the people who matter.
Okay, let's really get into the core of that frustration Thackeray talks about. He puts it so vividly.
He does.
He mentions being sick of, quote, big money consulting firms ripping off our ideas and presenting them as their own.
Yeah, and he stresses this isn't just a rare thing. It happens a lot. People inside the company with real practical money-making ideas.
They pitch them, maybe with a lot of passion because they know the business.
Right, and then crickets, ignored. Often just because of where they sit in the org chart.
And then comes the real kicker, as he calls it.
Yeah, seeing those same ideas pop up later, presented by consultants. And maybe 2 years later.
Boom. Making money for the company.
While the person who actually thought of it gets zero credit. Nothing.
Yeah, he sums it up pretty bluntly. Well, that bullshit won't wash anymore.
Huh. Yeah, I can feel the frustration there. It really hits home, that feeling.
It absolutely does. It points to this big disconnect, doesn't it? Where valuable knowledge from inside isn't valued.
Or at least not as much as an external opinion, which is weird when you think about it.
Why is that? Why do external voices often carry more weight?
That's a whole other deep dive, maybe. But Thackeray's point is, this is where AI could step in.
As an equalizer.
Kind of, yeah. A way for individuals to take back some control of the narrative. He talks about using AI as your consultant.
Ah, I like that. Your consultant, but without the massive invoice.
And without the risk of them, repackaging your own idea and selling it back.
Exactly. It sort of democratizes influence, potentially. Instead of just hoping your boss notices or climbing the ladder.
You use a tool to make your case stronger, more compelling, more data-driven.
Okay, so let's talk about one of the really intriguing tactics he mentions, simulating an influential voice.
Right, pitching it in the style of someone your boss respects. His example was Peter Jones.
From Dragon's Den, the UK show.
Yeah. For anyone who doesn't know him, he's famous for being very direct, no nonsense, asks really sharp business questions.
He's a great example, actually. He has this reputation, right? Cutting through the fluff, focusing on profit potential.
Especially in certain sectors, Thackeray notes, like FMCG, fast-moving consumer goods, and telecoms.
So the strategy is pretty smart. You tailor the pitch, not just what you say, but how you say it, to match what your boss already values.
Yeah, it's like speaking their language. So Thackeray then details the prompt he uses with the AI to do this.
Okay, let's break that down.
So first, he tells the AI, act as Peter Jones. Simple enough.
Right.
Then he gets a specific proposal to critique. In his example, it was creating either a chai machine, like a dedicated one, or maybe a spice grinding attachment for coffee machines.
Okay, a concrete product idea.
But he points out something important. His prompt has placeholders, like industry sector and your business name.
Ah, right. So you have to customize it. You can't just copy paste.
Exactly. You need to give the AI context about your specific business, your industry, for it to be, actually useful.
Makes sense. The AI needs good input for good output.
Totally. So the prompt goes on. It asks AI not just to critique, but actually improve the idea based on research.
And explain why it's making those improvements.
Yes, explain the rationale. That's
Yeah.
key. And then suggest how to implement it efficiently, focusing on profit.
Okay.
Plus, identify potential problems, hazards, limitations, develop a customer communication strategy, and even create an FAQ.
Wow, that's really comprehensive. It's asking the AI to do a lot of strategic thinking.
It really is. It shows what these large language models can potentially do beyond just writing text. It's like guiding it through a mini business plan.
So how did the AI actually respond? Let's look at that chai machine example.
Okay, so the AI, doing its Peter Jones impression, apparently starts by saying, yeah, it's the germ of an idea, market potential there.
But there's always a but with Peter Jones.
Exactly. Something like, half-baked ideas don't make millionaires. Classic Jones.
Huh. Okay. Then it dives into the market research. And this is where the AI's speed is kind of impressive. It pulls up stats on the UKT market.
And finds what? Anything interesting?
Yeah, pretty compelling stuff. Like UKT consumption hit 99,000 tons in 2024. That's up 19% from the year before.
19%. That's significant growth for a mature market like tea.
Right. But even more striking, it found chai latte consumption specifically shot up 94% in 2023.
94%. Okay, wow. That definitely validates the core idea. There's clearly demand.
For sure. And the AI also noted the bigger trend, people wanting more premium specialized teas, things they'll pay more for.
Higher margins, yep.
And it even mentioned a real company, Philly, expanding its cafes in the UK, tapping into this exact trend.
So it's grounding the analysis in real-world examples, not just abstract numbers. That adds credibility.
Definitely. So based on all that, the AI then refines the original proposal. It doesn't just go with a simple machine or attachment.
No. What is it to test?
It proposes an integrated smart chai system designed for multiple revenue streams. Okay, integrated smart chai system. Sounds more sophisticated. What does that involve?
Well, a premium smart chai machine, it even suggests branding it Dostea Plus.
Dostea Plus. Okay, catchy.
A separate spice grinding attachment, sure, but also a subscription service for premium chai spice blends.
Ah, the subscription model. Recurring revenue. Smart.
And crucial smart features Wi-Fi, app control, voice activation, scheduling.
Like smart coffee machines have now.
Exactly. Tapping into that existing consumer tech trend makes it feel familiar, less of a leap.
Okay, so it's a much more developed product concept. We're about getting it to market. Did the AI suggest a plan?
It did. A pretty structured 3-phase plan. Phase 1, market testing. Target areas with large South Asian populations, partner with Indian restaurants, maybe grocery stores, do a limited production run, aiming for a decent 40% gross margin.
Sensible. Test the waters.
Phase 2, mainstream launch. Wider retail, online sales, really push the authentic, exotic experience angle.
And the subscription service.
Yeah, push that too. Aiming for a higher 60% margin on the subscriptions. Set clear sales targets.
And phase 3?
International expansion eventually. And it even put numbers on it, projected revenues of £5 to £7 million by year 3.
Wow. Okay, that's specific.
And overall gross margins around 45–55%. It turns the vague idea into something that looks like a real business case.
But it also flagged the potential problems, right? The hazards.
Yes, and this is really important. It identified things like, well, cleaning complexity. Spices can be messy.
True.
Existing competitors, it specifically named Dostea again as competition. The challenge of educating UK consumers about authentic chai.
Good point. Supply chain risks for spices. Health regulations.
Yeah, all those practical hurdles. Having the AI point these out up front is super valuable. It shows you've thought it through.
Adds realism.
Yeah.
Avoids unpleasant surprises later.
The AI didn't stop there either. It suggested a whole customer communication strategy.
Based on what kind of themes?
Things like authentic experience, health and wellness, the convenience revolution aspect, maybe a sustainability angle for the spices.
And leveraging the smart home integration.
Right. Hitting multiple angles to appeal to different types of consumers.
That's quite thorough. It's covering marketing angles, too.
And then there was the FAQ, the Chai Revolution Plan FAQ.
What kind of questions did it cover?
The basics, like, what is this plan? Why is it important? What makes it different? Who's the target market?
Mm-hmm.
But also specifics. What's the timeline? How much investment is needed? What's the expected return?
And the answers were.
Pretty clear and detailed, apparently. It anticipates the questions a boss or investor would definitely ask.
It really sounds like the AI generated a pretty robust initial business proposal there.
It does, doesn't it? So,
Okay.
stepping back from the chai example, how can you, listening now, use these ideas for your overlooked projects?
Well, it seems the big advantage is using AI for that upfront market research and validation,
Yeah, getting some data behind your hunch.
and then using it to refine the idea itself, finding weaknesses, suggesting improvements, making it stronger on paper.
Like having a very analytical brainstorming partner.
Exactly, and one that can anticipate the potential roadblocks, the challenges, and help you think about solutions before you pitch it.
That foresight is crucial. Plus, it helps craft the messaging, right? The communication strategy.
And develop that structured plan timeline, potential ROI, all the stuff decision makers need to see,
Which makes it much harder to ignore.
hopefully. And then, as Thackeray mentioned, the final step could be using those AI presentation tools.
Like Gamma, he said.
Right. Take your refined AI-enhanced idea and turn it into a really polished, persuasive presentation.
So you've got the substance and the style.
It really does feel like it could democratize things a bit.
Yeah.
Give individual contributors a powerful new way to get their ideas seen.
And maybe, just maybe, avoid that whole frustrating cycle of being ignored, then seeing consultants get the credit.
It offers a pathway anyway, a way to bypass some of those traditional barriers.
So the key takeaway here really seems to be AI offers this powerful new avenue if you felt that sting of having a great idea sidelined.
Only for someone else to run with it later.
This deep dive gives you a concrete example, a framework you could adapt, using AI to develop, refine, and pitch your ideas effectively.
It really empowers you, the individual contributor, with tools that used to be, well, mainly the domain of those expensive consultants.
So it makes you wonder, doesn't it, if AI can effectively help surface and validate great ideas from within a company.
Yeah, what does that mean for the old ways? For top-down innovation? For relying so heavily on external firms?
Is there this huge, untapped potential sitting inside organizations right now?
Potential that maybe AI can finally help unlock. It's a really interesting thought to consider.
Absolutely. So maybe take some time, think about those ideas you've had. Could this AI approach give them the boost they need?
It might just be the way to get them the attention and hopefully the action they deserve.
Definitely something to explore. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us.